this, we want to play an animation, which is going to be this guy. And we also want our text to be in here. This is going to be public, expose on spawn, and we just say get our text, and we do set text to our input text. All right. So we've got our box. So we want to get that and add child. Alright, so what we need to do is we need to make a new event here, which is show, let's see, yeah. It's something like broadcast event text, so event text, post event text, and let's just add a variable, which is going to be text, type of string, and a default of nothing. And it doesn't look like we're getting the same stuff that I thought we'd get. In terms of, I was hoping that the vertical box would kind of scroll these things up as the size of the element changes, it kind of squishes it to the top. But that doesn't look like the case. And one of the things that's kind of nice right now is that fluid width, the fluid height of the scaling up and down of the text actually makes it nice and slowly kind of scroll up with text. And the problem with this is going to be that the text is going to jump whenever one of those things disappears. So I'm going to have to think about that. If a vertical box is the right way to go. I'm not sure. Shit. They got that one gif of people getting slide tackled over and over in soccer. Reminds me of when I played junior soccer when I was in like elementary school. And I would I don't know, I would slide tackle people without even thinking about it. And that was banned in, the junior league because it's a little too violent or whatever, right? So the ref would always get super pissed at me. He'd be like, "What the fuck are you doing? You can't slide tackle people." And it was just automatic that it would happen. So I'd be like, "Sorry, I can't. I don't know what's going on. It just body does what it wants to do." Just like fuck. Or I just nail people in the shin. Just utterly annihilate their shins. Though I wasn't the only bully on the circuit. I do remember one specific game where a guy, and by guy I mean another 10-year-old who was being a total asshole just like me, was coming up and just body slamming people, basically just running into them. Let me see. And I just ran into me because of course I had, but it was really funny because I just like stood there and took it. Because like the guy was obviously just trying to run into people who had the ball to just hurt them. And so I just kicked the ball away and just stood there just like, what the hell? And the guy ran into me. And the ref took care of that. But I had older brothers, right? So some other 10-year-old running into me was not an issue. It's just like, yeah, okay, somebody's being a jackass, but you're a lot smaller than my brothers. So you're not gonna hurt me. So let's see, some event text that happened. So if we hit 2, that'll get thrown. So text queue widget, and we need to go to our graph. So get UIEV, and we're going to bind to post event text. And we will create one of those and add it. And we just do that, and we'll have our little text queue. I got better at not slide tackling people, but it took some effort of just not being so violent automatically. That was kind of funny. So my dad's like, you can't just run into people and slide tackle them, and like it's not nice. And I'm just like, I can't help it. I'm just an asshole by nature. Alright, so and supposedly it's doing the thing, but I don't see any text. So it should be showing up there, but oh, it's probably hidden, right? That's what's going to be happening here. So if I go to disable everything, go to the text queue, get rid of that. You've spent too long debugging. Are there two HUDs that are getting created here? It looks like there might be. So I think if we go to our, where are we actually making create widget? Make stage HUD, set stage HUD. Add to viewport. So where are we calling set stage HUD? And stage HUD, remove from parent. If is valid, destroy stage HUD. Removes the widget from its parent widget. If this widget was added to the player screen or viewport, it would be removed from those containers. Well, let's just try making one of them. Alright, so we have our text queue. So we should actually start posting some event text, shouldn't we? Such as what are the other things on our stage that we can, the mission results? We have the mission results, stage intro message, stage exit message. Alright, so we've got some of these things. So, do we have stage intro widget and stage exit widget? Alright, there we go. So we have our text. We're going to want to show them and hide them. How do we want this to work? I think we're just going to have an anchor like we have before. Welcome, Sacron. I'm working on the UI stuff. So if we have this intro text and all this stuff, I want to make this really obvious that it's the stage intro. So is there some sort of image that I can throw on here, like this left join or something? Yeah, why don't we do that? The fire death of a sound compressor? I do not know. Alright, so I guess maybe what we should do is this should be that sort of thing. So when we have our intro and our, I guess we'll just have our default animation. In-game compressor burned out on stream, made an abysmal sound. I grabbed it and sent it through Paul Stretch. Nice. Alright, so I'm going to add a base panel thing here. So if I go to base panel, I'll add a transform for it. Is enabled. Oh, nice. So that's another thing that's possible. So let's open this up. I'm thinking the X scale is what we want. And let's go to our curve editor. What was it? The flatten tangents button. Alright, so I think that'll look okay. How are you getting scaling to work without the anchor star thing? Well, basically how I've got all this set up, since you probably would be pretty interested in how this works, I've got like all these widgets. Let's just, for any of these widgets, they're wrapped in a size box and then a scale box. So the size box is always the same size. So I'm just using 1680 by 1050 for every single size box. And then the scale box is anchored to the whole screen with scale to fit both. So if I scale it using the screen scale, you can see how it actually, it's hard to do it slowly, but you can see how it's adding the top and bottom bars, and if it gets too wide, it starts adding the left and right bars. So we have all of that working as we want. And then basically each one of these widgets that I go make, like this, you just make those as normal widgets with, nothing crazy going on, and then you just add them onto these sorts of things. So like I've got a score panel, which is this 1x1 little widget here, and if I put that anywhere, based on the horizontal and vertical alignment, it'll make the score boxes work as well. And the reason why nothing was working before was because the math was wrong. So I fixed all the math for the scaling for the boxes and everything, and now it all works. So if I jump in and do the thing, all the scaling is working as you'd expect. So I can spawn in a whole bunch of goal, score, animation things, and once it actually loads, that is. But stuff like that, so we can see it doing what it's supposed to with all of its scales. Of course, there are certain things there that aren't respecting all that with animations. But we can do some other things. Like, that's just me being lazy with the animate rather than stuff being screwed up. Thank you for following, Negazed. So stage intro text. Alright. So what we want for this guy is we want to play animation. Alright, so what we want for this guy is inside of our, what is it? Yeah, pre-construct, if it's design time, do this guy. If it's design time, we'll also play that animation. Alright, so I'm going to replace this with a, what is this, overlay? Yeah. I think the overlay, yeah, it's got that sort of stuff. Very good. Alright, this guy also needs to set his text properly. Let's see, we have the intro message, right? Where are you? Intro message. Anyway, we'll just also have this thing basically kill itself immediately if it doesn't have any intro text at all. Alright, so if we go to our arena level, we can add this thing inside of the level edge action. So set in stage, game state changed, make in stage HUD, which will make that. And we're also going to create widgets. Actually, no, the in stage HUD can probably just deal with this. So when it gets made, it should show the intro text, is what it should do. And we need to grab the panel from this thing. So this will be the stage intro panel. Is a variable. Yeah, basically, if you're curious about the UMG work, the stuff that you were working on, was on the right track, but the math was all wrong, which caused a lot of confusion. And reapproaching it from scratch without any of this stuff, I was able to start making sense about what was going on. And getting it set up. So I'll make the stage UI, which will make that, and what we want to do is call the stage UI and tell it to do the intro. So let's do that. I actually need to change this variable type, don't I? Alright, so let's take a look at what this looks like. Alright. Anyway, I'll be right back. So what I would like to do with the scale is have this anchored off of like the top left or top right or something. I guess the other thing is to perhaps I could do a translation sort of thing. So I could put a keyframe here and a keyframe here. And I mean, is it basically that we need the width of this, so it's like negative 700? That is what we'd want. Let me see, what is the HUD size here? We have 1680, 1650, 1080. Let's see if that works or not works. No, it really doesn't work. Well, I think basically it's going to be the width, right? So it's going to be size X of 80. So it's, I mean, negative 700. So it's going to be like negative 700. And then this thing is going to be negative 700 again. Right, so if we hit play, it's going to look somewhat like that. Is the idea. You're playing around with sound files and having fun? Well, very good. Better than dealing with rendering problems, I would guess. Okay, if it wasn't, so maybe it's negative 350. Alright, so it is the half there, so I can do stuff like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this HUD to, for this intro panel, I'm going to bind it to the left side of the screen. Like that. And I'm going to see how that works. So it'll pop up like that. Mega Man, you score 5 goals. Actually, only need to score 1. Okay, so what we want to also do is take these widgets. We want Q line. I want to see get visibility. If his and the same thing for our score. So let's make sure that the score isn't showing up anymore, because we don't want that score to be it's like it's done. It's over. The HUD is supposed to have been hidden and it's not visible anymore, so kill itself. So what, the construction didn't get fired? So it went visible here, and then we created another score? Why did we create another score? Hello, Split Disk 4. Welcome, I'm just slowly making my way through UI stuff in Unreal. And working, I'm gray boxing out some assets. The artist guy, Adam, will come back and make things look pretty. So I'm just trying to hook things up to begin with. Alright, so we went ahead and created one there. We created two. Why did we create two? 3? 4? 4 score widgets? What the hell? So we created a whole bunch of those for some reason. Why? Thank you for following Split Discord. Sorry, I'm not really talking too much. I'm trying to think at the moment as to what is exactly going on with the right score. I think the only thing that throws that event is inside of the blueprint for the level. Are we binding to this event multiple times? We must be. So construction happens once. Right team scores. Retry. Ah, we did another construct. Called after underlying wedges constructed during a state is used. This may be called multiple times due to adding and removing from the hierarchy. Oh, that sucks. Alright. Gotta read the fine print. Is there a built-in? Event construct being called every time added. This is not a bug, it's how the engine was intended. However, I submit a feature request to the development team. Thank you for your input. Do you have any information to state this request? I'd like to end is fired once, a separate event. And I double check bears if future requests still under consideration by the developers. However, you should use this result by having two widget blueprints, a master, and a blah blah blah. Since you're saying this is intended behavior, I wonder if you explain what is wrong with my usage as causing this assertion. Questions? No. Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of. I get it, but what they should have is they should have a boolean of like if this is the first or not, because this is real stupid. So, first. So the question is, how exactly do we want to do this? A clock is being hidden. Alright, I need to not have the clock hide itself. Is the construct in here doing something?